Hello there, my fellow myth and fantasy nerds. My name is Tanner, and I'd like to welcome you back to my YouTube channel. So, a while back, you might remember that I created a series over here on this YouTube channel where I introduced you all to the D&D characters that I created but have not played yet. However, as I mentioned over on my TikTok, which you should totally go follow by the way, link is in the description, when it comes to making D&D characters, I am way too creative for my own good. So for this week's video, I will be going over my newest group of characters, who in this case are all of the Owlin race, or species, or lineage, or whatever you prefer. Now, Owlin, for those of you who don't know, are essentially humanoid owls. They have arms and legs like humans, but everything else, from the wings on their backs, to their faces, to their tails, to their feet, is all owl. This includes them having wings that allow powered flight, and feathers that give them the ability to fly and move silently. So as always, please make sure to leave a like on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe down below. Pretty please! It'll help me make more content for you. And without further ado, allow me to introduce to you the first of my Owlin D&D characters, Liadin. Thank you, Tanner. Good evening to you. I am Liadin Grimwing, and I am an Owlin bard. But please call me Liadin, all my friends do. Now I bet you're wondering about my backstory, and oh, what a story it is. Once upon a time, many, many years ago, I once roamed with a troupe of performers who adopted me when I was still a ball of fluff. As I grew older, I learned I was a good storyteller, but I did seem a bit too honest at times. I left the troupe on good terms to seek my own fortune, and they gave me a pin with their symbol, so I would be welcomed back if and when I returned to visit. Now, when Tanner places me, and I reach the correct level, the plan is for me to specialize as a College of Spirits bard, which will allow me to conjure and channel spiritual avatars of particularly powerful stories, which will provide a variety of effects depending on the story. As for my alignment, I am chaotic good. I may be a free-spirited bird, but I still prefer to do what I feel is the right thing to do. As for my ability scores, my high score is my charisma, of course. I am a bard after all, at 16. My worst score on the other talon is my strength at 11. But honestly though, who needs strength when you have magic? Anywho, I have to go practice my storytelling, so I shall hand you over to the next character. Ayraas? Thank you, Liadin, and salutations to you. My name is Ayraas Swiftflanks, and I am also an Owlin. However, I am a warlock as opposed to a bard. Not that there's anything wrong with that, Liadin. As for my story, it was rough, living on the streets, struggling to survive, stealing and begging. I never knew my parents, you see, and the orphanage I grew up in was abandoned when I was very young. The other orphans and I depended on each other to survive, and we became a surrogate family of sorts. Now, one night, I had a dream in which I found myself in a brightly colored palace in the sky, and right in front of me was a beautiful angelic being with bright rainbow colored wings. She told me her name was Ayraas, the Rainbow Messenger, and she took an interest in me and my ability to bring joy and light to all. She then offered me a deal. She would grant me a piece of her power, becoming my Warlock patron, and in exchange she wanted me to travel throughout the world and spread light and joy in her name. I gladly accepted, making a Warlock pact with her, and I've been exploring this world, providing people with light and joy ever since. As you may have guessed, my alignment is also chaotic good. As for my patron, Lady Ayraas is a celestial, a powerful being of the upper planes. And when we made our pact, she gave me a rainbow quartz pendant to use as an arcane focus for my spells. When Tanner plays me to the correct level, his plan is for me to take Pact of the Tome, which means my patron shall grant me a Book of Shadows, which will allow me access to 3 new cantrips for me to use in battle. As for my ability scores, as I am a warlock, my charisma is my highest score at 18. As for my lowest stat, like with Liadin, that would also be my strength, at 10. Ah, excuse me. My patron is trying to send me a message. I better let you talk to the next character while I find the nearest rainbow. Indraham. Yes, Ayraas? Oh, hello! I didn't expect to see you there. My name is Indraham Glowmantle, and I am an Owlin sorcerer, specifically a divine soul sorcerer. I was born the child of 2 former adventurers, who were also pillars of our little community. My mother is an Owlin Druid, who worked as the local herbalist and healer, selling potions and poultices, and my father is, or rather was, a bard, who is both the town storyteller and the owner of the local tavern. Sadly, he passed when I was very young. I don't remember him much, only a faint memory of a smile, and a light that always seemed to shine from him. I was told stories of my parents' adventures growing up, and I always loved hearing them. When I was older, my divine magic appeared, and my mother was forced to tell me the truth. My father was an Aasimar, descended from Ayraas, the Rainbow Messenger, and as a product of a mingling of owl and celestial bloodlines, I was the only one of my kind, at least as far as my parents and the other villagers were concerned. I left the village to seek my fortune on good terms, and my mother and the other villagers told me I was always welcome back whenever I wanted to visit. As with the other Owlin you've met thus far, I am of the chaotic good alignment. When it comes to my ability scores, as a sorcerer, my highest is my charisma at 17, and my worst once again is my strength at 9. Anyway, I best be off. Got some joy and light to spread, so I'll send you over to the next character. Matreham? What? Oh, my apologies, I'm easily ruffled. I am Matreham Sunwing, and I am an Owlin Druid. Once upon a time, I lived in a secluded Druid village deep in the forest. It was made up of all Druids, of many different races and creeds, all working and living together in harmony with each other and with nature. I used to play with all the little Druid children, and I used to wander the woods by myself. I was wandering the forest that fateful day. I was having some fun when I heard the sound of screams. I ran as fast as I could until I saw my village. Oh, horror of horrors! The village was completely devastated, the work of a rampaging white dragon.
I could only stand and watch as the dragon further destroyed the village. It turned towards me, and I closed my eyes, waiting for the end. The dragon approached and sniffed at me. And then, for some reason I have yet to understand, the dragon turned around and trundled off through the woods. That memory of that day still haunts me, and I vowed that day that I would find that dragon and avenge my village. Now, as with the others, I am chaotic good, and when Tanner plays me to the correct level, his plan is for me to specialize as a circle of wildfire druid, since white dragons breathe ice and therefore are weaker to fire and heat. As for my ability scores, as a druid, my highest score is my wisdom at 14, and my lowest score is once again my strength at 7. I am rather small. Anywho, I feel the need to commune with nature, as I find that very calming. Baldaric, do you mind taking it over from here? Hmm?
Oh, of course, Matreham. Greetings and salutations. My name is Baldaric Twinklebeak, and I am an Owlin wizard. Now, my story is rather similar to Liadin, who you met earlier. Many years ago, I once roamed with a troupe of performers who adopted me when I was very young. As I grew older, I learned I was a good actor and storyteller, though I did seem too honest at times. I also learned that I was a rather good artist, and my pictures and caricatures were beloved wherever we went. I left the troupe on good terms to seek my own fortune, and they gave me a pin with their symbol so I would always be welcomed back if and when I returned to visit. Like with the other Owlin, I am chaotic good, and when Tanner plays as me, his plan is for me to specialize as an Order of Scribes wizard as soon as I get to the correct level. As for my ability scores, as I am a wizard, my intelligence is my highest score at 16, and once again my strength is my lowest score at 8. Oh, you must excuse me. I really should get back to my studies, so I'll send you over to the final character. Nimu? Yes, Baldaric? Ah, good day to you. I am Nimu Frostflanks, and I am an Owlin Barbarian. Now, my backstory begins in a secluded Owlin community, one that was secluded from the rest of the world. One day, I and a few other younglings found an old abandoned temple. We found many treasures in there, among them an entire intact library full of books. I read some of those books, and they told me many strange and exciting things about the world outside our community. I wanted to see the world outside our community, to see what was recorded in those books. My people were wary of the idea of letting me go off on my own, but in the end they were persuaded, and gave me their blessing. I've been exploring the world ever since. As with the other Owlin you've met, I am chaotic good, and Tanner's plan, when he plays as me, is for me to take the barbarian path of the Storm Herald as soon as I reach the correct level. As for my ability scores, my constitution is my highest at 19, and my worst is my wisdom at 9. So my common sense is a little below average. So what? Any hoot, I need to go spar, and besides, it is high time Tanner wraps this video up. Tanner? Yeah, you're probably right, Nemo. Anyway, and there we have it. Those were all my Owlin D&D characters that I created but have not played yet. If you liked this video and you want more, please consider leaving a like and subscribing down below so you don't miss any new content from me. Also, if you have any other ideas that you want to see in future videos, please leave your suggestions in the comments down below. Who knows? It might just happen. Alright, well, that's all the time I have for this video, so I'll see you all next week with some brand new content for you. See you guys then.